Hello and welcome back. Today we have got a third video following the Framework Next Gen event from just not Josh because, well, actually, you know what? I don't even watch this channel enough. I don't even know who this is. Who is this? It's in the description. Yeah, that's her right there. What is her name? Cierra. Okay, I found it. She's got probably a few more things in here than I have covered and that Linus covered when he talked with Narav one-on-one. And I really do enjoy the coverage on this channel specifically when it comes to Framework because they're very fair. They don't bash on the product unfairly, but they also don't shy away from its limitations, and I like the balance they hold there. So I've always really enjoyed watching these guys. You should go check out the video after you watch this one, of course, and give them a subscription because Just Josh is pretty good. I know it says I'm not subscribed right there. I use a different profile. I apologize. It's purely because I don't want to dox myself when I'm recording. So anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and watch this video and let's see what Cierra has to say about this.
I want to start this video by thanking Framework for flying me out to their event in San Francisco. They put me up in a nice hotel and fed me yummy food. That being said, their hospitality did not sway my opinions on their announcements. Let's start with the star of the show, a brand new version of their Framework 13, the 13 Pro. The Framework 13 Pro is bringing us a refined CNC aluminum chassis. It comes in black, aka graphite, which looks quite sharp. Silver looks a little dated in my opinion, even on something like the MacBook Pros, and the black feels more modern. The new color does pick up fingerprints pretty badly, so it's still available in silver if you prefer that. The new chassis feels a bit more premium and well-built, but the difference was not as big as I was expecting.
I was worried about that the black color would attract fingerprints. I've seen some comments here on the channel of people saying it'd be easier just to throw a D-brand skin on the laptop, and you know, I remember, I think it was Matt Ancini said the same thing, that customization for Framework wasn't a big deal because you get a better deal and more customization throwing a D-brand skin on, and I just disagree. However, I will say the perks of a D-brand skin is fingerprint protection, so if I can get an all-black chassis and then just throw on a nice black design or even a different design, something that just, you know, calls and speaks to me, that's fine. So if this device is getting fingerprints, meh. That's what D-brands are for, not just for customization. They're also very utilitarian. I actually keep a D-brand skin on my cell phone. I keep it underneath my case. That way, because my day job, I work outdoors and I get a lot of dirt and debris under there, and it has scratched my previous phone I had, and Verizon didn't want to take the trade-in, even though when I got the phone from Verizon, they gave me a case and said that would protect me from any damages. It was like dirt-proof or weatherproof. Yeah, bullshit. The true weatherproof system is going to be a D-brand skin. And to circle it all back, if you're worried about fingerprints, just get yourself a D-brand skin. And if you want customization, get a Framework.
On the keyboard, there is now an alternate colorway, as Framework calls it, with gray and orange accent keys on their black keyboard. I love this. It truly makes it look like a laptop that belongs to a coder. On the other hand, they have a lavender accent option too, which I expected to like more, but I think the white text on the lighter lavender keys makes them hard to read.
It's entirely possible that they could adjust the color on that lavender. I think if that gets enough complaints, they could probably tone it down a bit or increase the contrast in the two colors just to help make it stand out and more legible. Personally, my idea is that I might down the road, if I want to, buy the completely blacked out keyboard and the colored keyboard, and then that way I can have all the colored options for escape and tab and caps lock, the meta key, you get it. And then all the letters, because I know where all the letters are on a keyboard, have those blacked out. I think that'd be a pretty cool look. And again, only Framework would provide this as a native option and then allow their users to be able to 3D print and create whatever type of keyboard they would want to create. Just incredible.
Another big announcement on this new 13 Pro is that we are getting a brighter 2.8K touchscreen option. It's rare that we see a matte, non-reflective display that also supports touch. Still, it's disappointing that it's an IPS panel, not an OLED or tandem OLED.
I don't care if it's an IPS panel. I really don't care. OLED is overrated as far as laptops go. They consume more power on a laptop than they would, say, on a phone. So what's the point even? Just prettier visuals? Laptop is a portable device, so if you really want like that stunning display on your laptop, just plug it into a monitor and do work there. Laptops 9 times out of 10 are used for office work, photo editing, and other things. And if you're taking it on the go, you're probably not putting that much attention to detail into the photo editing you're doing. And if you're watching a movie, I don't know. I feel like LCD still has pretty decent color contrast. I mean, OLED is nice, but with the risk of burn-in, I don't think it's worth it. I mean, but hey, keep asking for it. The framework will eventually provide it as an option for you guys. Just don't complain when it's super expensive to put into your laptop. Right now, they're currently developing their own screens, so yeah, it is a very expensive investment. In the last video we talked about, Nirav said that he put in $1 million to be able to develop the touchscreen that framework now ships. OLED TVs, even the smart TVs and the smart monitors, they're not cheap as is. I mean, the price is going down. Just understand, you're gonna get the option. Don't worry about that. Just don't complain about the price when it comes.
Instead of the screen, the crowd was more excited by the haptic touchpad.
We know that touchpads are where Windows and Linux laptops have typically fallen behind MacBook Pro, so we put a ton of focus on this.
I'm gonna have to mansplain here. I'm sorry, Cierra. I couldn't help but notice that your video didn't show anybody reacting to the touchpad. So if my memory serves me correct, everybody was freaking out over the touchscreen. I don't recall anybody freaking out over the haptic touchpad, but we're gonna correct that for the record.
We also redesigned the touchpad. This is now a piezo-based haptic touchpad using the same technology we just introduced on Framework Laptop 16. We know that touchpads are where Windows and Linux laptops have typically fallen. And finally, this is a touchscreen.
Now that's called a cheering crowd, but as you can see back there,
it's one of those features.
She doesn't know what she's talking about. How embarrassing. I can't even trust anything she's saying now. No, I'm just kidding. I think she just misspoke.
Framework's mechanical trackpad might be one of the better ones I've used, but finally having a haptic option is great. I got to try the touchpad, and I think the tap-to-click was a bit too sensitive. I found myself double-clicking a little, but tracking felt smooth. Hopefully, on a production unit with some minor settings changes, it would be fine.
Yeah, no, it's good that she brings that to light. I think that it will definitely get better, if not by Framework themselves, and I know the community will be able to fix that. Whether you're on Windows or Linux, there's going to be plenty of users that are putting out packages or software that's going to be able to tweak the sensitivity of the touchpad. That's not going to be a big deal, but it's a good thing that she's upfront about it now, because even my keyboard sometimes is a little too sensitive. Like I'll hit the M key or the N key and I'll like double type, and I can never tell if it's me or if it's the keyboard I have. I've actually swapped out the keyboard, so the fact that it still happens, I'm going to guess is probably a me issue, but that's nor here nor there. I mean, I've gotten better about it. The amount of times it's happened is lessened, so whether it's a software update or whether that's me just typing differently, to be determined. If anybody has a Framework 13 or just any Framework laptop in general, have you had that issue where like the M key or the N key, basically the bottom right of your keyboard where the letters are, it feels like you're double typing? Leave a comment, let me know.
In terms of overall quality and premium feel, this laptop is nicer than it used to be, but not as nice as something like Lenovo's Yoga Slim 7i Ultra. The Framework 13 Pro simply isn't at that level, but I'd say it's getting to the level of other metal laptops, like the Samsung Galaxy Book 6 Pros. All three CPU options offer benefits that we haven't seen in prior Framework 13s. To help you figure out how these perform, I'll be showing you some example laptops with these chips. First, you've got the higher-end 16-core X CPUs, which offer solid performance rivaling Apple's M5 base chip, but definitely not at the level of an M5 Pro chip, both of which can be found around this price point. The 8-core CPU falls near the bottom here, but it lasts forever on battery, which is probably where Framework's 20-hour battery life claim is coming from. Of course, we'll have to test that and see what it actually gets, because they test video playback, and we don't feel that's very realistic.
That is a very valid point. I kind of just took the 20 hours of battery life statement with a grain of salt, and I didn't really harp on it too much, because I always feel like with like Mac, you're not editing a video, or you're not going to be programming and running code and whatnot for 20 hours, 24 hours straight. That's just not happening. Besides, a lot of people who buy the MacBook and the people they're marketing to over there at Apple, they're marketing to the people who are just going to be using their laptop for typing documents and watching Netflix. So the fact that it's a whole different architecture, being ARM-based, and the use case is pretty light, I understand where that marketing comes from. I don't think that Framework is really exaggerating. I think they're literally doing a stress test to see how long can this battery go for, and no battery on Framework was going more than, say, maybe 10 hours maximum. So regardless, I do appreciate the benchmark comparisons, and I think that addressing this and putting it in the forefront is very important, because Framework should be held accountable. If they're going to say the average use case is 20 something hours, it better be 20 something hours. But they're going to put their tests online. They're going to have uncut YouTube videos apparently of the battery in action. So I guess we'll see when this product hits the streets.
We should still be seeing much better battery life than last gen though, especially since they've included a larger 74 watt-hour battery instead of the 61. This new one is still compact enough to fit in the same space as the smaller one though.
I had to watch that 3 times. I don't know if she's misspeaking or if she's genuinely trying to say, or if it's me misunderstanding, but what I gathered was that she's claiming that the new 74 watt hour battery supposedly fits in the old chassis. I'm gonna go with that's false, and I'm not going to sit here and definitively say that's what she's saying, but that's how I interpreted what she said. If that is the case, I don't know why Narav is saying that you have to buy the new chassis. That's very interesting. I don't think it makes any sense if the battery is physically bigger that it could fit in the old chassis. They had to reshape the chassis to fit a physically bigger battery. I mean, it's almost 20 watt hours bigger than the 55 watt hour battery. So I don't know, the 61 watt hour fits inside the original 13 chassis. I guess we'll just have to wait and see these things side by side.
Back on the CPU options, both higher-end X chips bring awesome integrated GPU performance, similar to an entry-level dedicated GPU.
I wanted to go ahead and touch on this because I wanted to give a little bit of transparency. If it isn't obvious to you guys, I guess it wouldn't be obvious, but I'm not editing these videos all the time on my Framework. I'm running a 7640U. That's pretty entry-level 7000 series as far as Framework is concerned. And, here and there I'll edit a few of my videos on there. But with all these videos coming out day after day after day, look, I need something just a little bit faster. So I'm putting that towards my desktop. Everything's going through DaVinci Resolve, which is GPU accelerated. And so my 4070 Ti is just handling it like cutting through butter. It's not anything. I'm very excited though. The point is that I'm very excited to see how this chip, because my plan is down the road eventually upgrading to this maxed out Intel Core 3, the X9 I believe is what it's called. I'm gonna be probably upgrading to that one down the road, maybe in the next year or two, and I'm hoping that will really enhance the video editing experience on my Framework, because right now it's doable, but you got to give me like a couple hours to get a video out, rather than like how I could probably knock this out in maybe 2 or 3 hours. I'm hoping I can get closer to that type of time frame with this newer chipset.
Another improvement to the internals is the 13 Pro's LP CAM memory modules. These can offer fast memory speeds comparable to soldered RAM, while still being replaceable. We're glad to see Framework is the first to truly embrace it here.
Yeah, I thought they were the first ones to really like put it out there. I know it's technically out there. I know Lenovo's doing it with their ThinkPads. As far as I knew, the current standard was DDR5 memory. I mean, that's still pretty much the standard, and with the prices of everything going right now, that's like fine. I mean, if you got some spare ones, you might as well sell it and then deal with less RAM. And then when the prices eventually go down, take that money that you invested. I'm not a financial advisor, by the way, and then go buy more RAM. And you'll probably end up making a profit out of doing that.
Let's talk about where the team and I were a little disappointed. There is still a single fan cooling solution. Panther Lake is more efficient than prior chips, yes, but I still think we're going to want 2 fans with those more powerful X CPUs.
I've wanted 2 fans as well in the 13 model. I feel like it would really benefit the model to have 2 fans, but I don't know where you put it. If I had to guess, if you take a look right over here, this is where your CPU is, okay? And then there's your storage, and then here's your memory. I feel like you could get one fan right out here if you were able to reposition the CPU a bit, just shove it this way and then put the fan here. And then this memory with this new shape, I don't know, but I would think that you could probably put it down here in a way next to the storage. Maybe you could have with the DDR5, but with this new module, I don't know where you could put that. That's gonna be tricky. I don't want soldered RAM. I really don't want soldered RAM. I don't think it's the worst idea though, if they wanted to give you the choice to buy a more powerful machine, like a more powerful mainboard with soldered RAM, then that would leave room to have an extra fan here so that the CPU could get hotter, and then, well, it could get more cooling action, but I don't know if that's a realistic trade-off performance-wise. I'm sure they've already tested that, because I know that with the memory shortage and the prices going up and just them trying to survive as a small growing business, I'm sure they've already experimented that and tested it, but it kind of goes against their whole point as far as their laptops go. But if they gave us the choice to have a more powerful laptop, if the difference between this and a soldered memory version, like if it was sizable enough, I think it would be an okay decision of them to give us that choice.
I imagine this decision was made because of compatibility, but I do hope they find a way around it soon. We'll have to wait and see how it does under load, so get subscribed with the notification bell on so you can see our full review when it drops. We'll test all of its performance modes to see which has the best balance between performance, heat, and fan noise. Another new product for the Framework 16 is this new Oculink dev kit where you can use an external GPU directly via 8 PCIe lanes. This avoids the bandwidth issues of other external GPUs that connect via USB-C or Thunderbolt. With this dev kit, you can either connect to a Framework GPU module or a desktop GPU. We're actually testing quite a few external GPUs right now for a big video on them. I'll add this one to our list.
And you know what? I might have to make a follow-up video whenever they test out all those GPUs, because I am interested in the Oculink. I'm starting to learn more about it. I'm in no need for a Framework 16, but I would love to follow the development of this because I can see some pretty decent use cases for like hooking up an eGPU or like a full, like theoretically like a 5090 at your desk just sits there, and then you can hook up your 5090 to your Framework 16, and then you could just take off and then work with the 5070 module if you're on the go. That'd be pretty sweet. It might be a waste of your money, but in theory it's really cool, and I'd love to see the potential of how far they can push this device. If you want to see more of what she has to talk about regarding the Framework wireless keyboard and the bags, go ahead and check out the channel Just Josh, and why don't you give him a like. Again, I really enjoy this channel. I think that they have great insight on Framework. They take a very fair stance and they're not afraid to criticize them. And in a world where AMD is blacklisting people on both sides of the spectrum, that being Gamers Nexus and Linus Tech Tips, it's really cool that Framework is a company that will take some of their harsher critics and then put them in a hotel room and invite them to an event and let them test out the new devices. I hope that they can sort of lead by example and more companies start being more fair and open and, well, frankly, just as cool as them. We're so close to hitting 1,000 subscribers. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed, and if you haven't yet, it would really mean a lot if you clicked that button and left a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. Until then, I will see you guys next time.